Today's video is going to be all about Mugler's newest release, which is Alien Goddess Supra Florale. Is this another redundant designer flanker, or is this one full bottle worthy? If you want to find out more, then please keep on watching. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's the first time you are visiting. Thank you so much for joining me today. As I already mentioned in the intro, today's video is all about Mugler's newest release, Alien Goddess Supra Florale. And this one kind of came out of nowhere for me. I think because Mugler have had quite a few launches recently, and I wasn't expecting another goddess flanker so soon. But that being said, I saw the bottle, which is in the most gorgeous kind of rose gold coppery packaging. And I also saw the notes and I was thinking, oh, this actually sounds quite different. So I must say I was excited to try this one. Now this is an EDP and I have here a 30 ml size. I'm going into this blindly, or I was going into this blindly. So a 30 ml is more than enough because I wasn't sure if I was going to like this one, but the notes sounded promising. So let's open the packaging, and I like the kind of rose gold copper packaging, and it's got this beautiful floral detailing around the edge. Now, one thing I will say is I personally prefer the 50 ml and the 100 ml bottles. I just think they are more aesthetically pleasing than the 30 ml, and they just look a lot nicer in your collection, and they also have the branding on them. So the 30 ml isn't the most beautiful, however, I do think this is really pretty, and the packaging you will instantly recognize. However, this time it is a rose gold / copper gradient. And I did a full day wear test of this one yesterday, and I also have this on my hand today, so I can reference back to the dry down versus the initial spray, which I'm going to do on a piece of paper. Now, let me actually read you the notes first and foremost so you can understand a little bit more about the composition. So the notes in Goddess Supra Florale is top notes of cactus flower and prickly pear. I'm not sure what cactus flower smells like. Middle notes are jasmine, sambac, and immortelle. And base notes are desert rose, amber, and musk. So just going off those notes, I wasn't quite sure how this was going to be linked to Alien Goddess or even Alien at all, although I think we all know by now that Alien Goddess smells very different from the OG, the very well loved Alien, or shall I say loved / hated, because it's a very polarizing fragrance. So what does this smell like? Okay, I'm going to give you my initial top line thoughts before I spray it. When I initially tested this one, I was a little bit surprised because the initial spray didn't remind me anything of Alien Goddess or Alien. I know it's more closely linked to Alien Goddess because it's a goddess flanker, but I couldn't smell either of those fragrances within the initial spray. My thoughts were it was sweet, it was very likable, and I feel like it was a mass appealing scent profile, and it definitely sits within that kind of designer family. It had a familiarity to it, which people will know and they will love. And that is what I mean about smelling designer. Often there's this kind of similar DNA that runs throughout brands. However, my thoughts did start to change once the fragrance dried down and I had a little bit more time with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray it on some paper and give you my kind of top line thoughts on the first initial spray. So I have here a paper blotter and I'm just going to spray this on a little bit further back from my face because I always get this in my face. It's got a really nice mister on this bottle too. So let's get into it. Yeah, I'm back to that same initial reaction where it's very sweet and it's very likable, but I'm not linking it to the original Alien Goddess or the Intense either. So what I get in that initial blast is there's a real sweet juiciness. I get a fruity note. So what I initially thought I was perceiving was a pear note. And I know this has prickly pear in it, but that isn't linked to pear per se. Prickly pear is often described as smelling a little bit similar to melon or kiwi. And that is actually the kind of vibe that I'm getting in the opening. Very sweet and fruity, quite delicious to be quite honest with you. But there is a greenness to here, which gives this a fresh quality. And again, I think that's why I was so confused that it was a Goddess flanker, because the fruitiness, the greenness, yeah, it was just quite different. I'm still getting a lot of that kind of pear vibe. I guess it could be like pear and kiwi or like a honeydew melon. And then I am getting some florals, but the floral that I'm perceiving right now is not jasmine, but I don't know what it is. It's sweet, and I think that's why I'm confused. Maybe because the top notes are overshadowing that jasmine note. I get a slight translucent amber here. It's a little bit musky and a little bit vanillic, but yeah, it's quite far removed from Alien Goddess at this point. Definitely no coconut in here. Not that I can smell anyway on the initial spray. So let's go to my hand now, which has the dry down. Sorry, just putting that down. So this is very much dried down, and that initial sweetness, that initial fruitiness that I perceive is pretty much all gone. And now I am starting to get that Goddess DNA, which I am actually really happy about. I do like Alien Goddess, but with some slight differences. If you could imagine Goddess with a slight greenness to it and a little bit sweeter, take out that coconut, this is what you're kind of getting here. It's still musky, it's a little bit vanillic, and a slightly translucent amber, but it's not a heavy fragrance at all. Very likable, still very mass appealing in the dry down, but a little bit more closely linked to Goddess. It's very far removed from Alien in my opinion, apart from the fact in the dry down I can now get the jasmine, but this is in no way an indolic jasmine. It is quite a friendly and appealing jasmine. I almost feel like if you love the original Alien, that you might not like this, and then vice versa. But I could be wrong, because I do like the original Alien and I also like this. But the die-hard fans of Alien might be quite disappointed in this type of scent profile because they are so different. But when you remove that from this, and when you remove the fact that this is an Alien flanker, I do think it is a really good fragrance. And if they would have just changed the name to something else and stopped calling it Alien, I think people would have a completely different reaction to these flankers. Again, I might be wrong in that. Please do let me know your thoughts, and I'm expecting to see lots of different opinions on this. But my impression of this, and it's still very much a first impressions at this point, is I feel like it's a very beautiful fragrance. I feel like lots of people are going to enjoy it. I think it was maybe released quite soon after Goddess, but they are different enough to warrant it as a release in my opinion. Now, when I look through comparisons on like Fragrantica as an example, quite a few people are saying they feel like it's quite similar to Goddess. And I can see that, but I do still see them as separate fragrances. I don't get any beachy quality from this. I actually do get a little bit of saltiness from it, but yeah, I would absolutely recommend you trying this in your local department store or trying to get a decant online. But a wear test is definitely going to be your best bet. Wear it on the skin, wear it all day, and see how you feel about it. In terms of longevity, I'm not an oversprayer, so if you're new to my channel, just to let you know, I'm roughly someone who will do max 4 to 5 sprays, so I don't go crazy on the sprays. And for me, this lasted, I would say, 6 to 7 hours. It had a beautiful projection. but I would say it was kind of mid-range projection. It wasn't super loud. And yeah, I just think this is a great new release. Longevity could be better. I am someone who actually isn't fussed about longevity of fragrances because it's quite rare that I'm out of the house for very long periods of time. And if I love a fragrance enough, I will take a decant with me anyway. It's not the main factor that I think about when choosing a fragrance. If I fall head over heels for a fragrance and it only lasts 4 hours, it's not the be all and end all for me. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a reference point on the longevity and the sillage for me personally. So I guess you can kind of get my overall opinion on this based on what I've just previously been saying. I think the opening is not similar to Goddess and takes this in a little bit of a different direction. You're getting a greenness, you're getting a very sweet kind of pear, kiwi, melon vibe in the opening. And then when you get to the mid and the dry down, that is when the jasmine starts to come out a little bit more. It becomes slightly musky. You get some vanilla and some amber. I don't pick out the Immortelle. It's closely linked to Goddess, only in the mid and the dry down, but they're not super similar in my opinion. And I do think this is a good release. It's not a full-blown love, I will say that, but it's definitely a strong like. So that was my review on the Alien Goddess Supra Floral. Please do let me know what you think about this fragrance down in the comments. Have you tried this one yet? If so, please do let me know your thoughts. Or please do let me know your thoughts if you want to try this one or you are not keen at all. I would love to start a conversation down below. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure as always. I hope to see you all in a future video to come. Thank you so much and goodbye.